much more productive than post-loss whiskey. Ready to rock the day, everybody. Thanks for checking us on out. Tobin here with you. And look, my head hit the pillow last night after the Miami Heat fell to a season low, 4 games under 500. And, you know, it makes your mind wander when you're sitting there in dreamland, you know, and I'm sitting there and some people count sheep. I was counting bricks. In my mind, I just had like over and over and over and over brick after brick from last night's game. And it was tough. It was tough sleeping. And so what does one do? You doom scroll a little bit on the phone. And then on Instagram, something intrigued me. And that was, now I had seen a couple of these pictures on Twitter, but I hadn't seen the whole batch. And that was Duke basketball tweeting out their photos from the Miami Heat facility. And wow, I mean, they put up themselves a load of pictures working out in the Miami Heat practice facility. They're taking on the Miami Hurricanes tonight, which, look, if the Canes can get this done, that'd be one of the upsets of the season because they have not been good. I mean, it has been a bloodbath so far for the Canes this year, who are about to probably hire Duke's associate head coach as their head coach. And, you know, you're scrolling through these photos, and it's just like, oh, look at everybody getting their work in. And then you see old Cooper Flagg getting some work in over there at 601 Biscayne Boulevard. And you're just like, maybe I could deal with 25 more games of awful. What's 25 more games? You know, I got to wonder. The league, they're sitting around here. It's a healthy spot right now, right? But the Miami Heat have sat here, never had the number 1 pick. Never. Now, I think they're one of, 6 teams that's never had it. Grizzlies, the Jazz, the Nuggets, Pacers, and I think that's everybody. And I have to wonder, watching this, looking at this, I'm like, you see them peruse in the facility. We know that the Arison family loves Duke. Nick Arison loves Duke. And in fact, the photo that Duke basketball tweeted out yesterday was a photo of the Heat's floater statue. And then there's a photo of Nick Arison and Shane Battier. And one has to wonder, not that Duke has any control over this, but is it finally time for the Miami Heat to get their frozen envelope moment? There have been times you've looked around and you're like, that seemed a little bit fishy. Cavaliers getting Kyrie Irving. You're like, that's not how that was supposed to be. Cavaliers, you know, tanked for LeBron James probably, but they were not supposed to have that shot at Kyrie Irving. That was a little bit wonky. Even if you go back and look to the Miami Heat, the most that they ever tried to tank, one time when they really went in the dumps for the number 1 pick in 2008, which ended up being a very, very good draft. But unfortunately, Michael Beasley did not have certainly the initial burst that Derrick Rose did. And instead, the Bulls ended up with the number 1 overall pick in that draft that year. And they had a 1.7 probability to get Derrick Rose that year. And it's just, you have to wonder, all of the things that have gone against Miami these days. All right, this has been an awful season. Is this finally the year that Miami gets its frozen envelope moment? A little wink from the NBA. Be like, hey, come on, baby. Come on. Let's make some things happen. Let the Heat capture the flag. Let the Miami Heat get themselves a star to market around. Not that the other guys aren't good players. It's not that Tyler's not, but I'm talking about a guy that really just like gets everybody going like, whoa, that's new. I'm interested in seeing the Heat have that. One has to wonder. That's all. Again, restless night. One has to wonder. You see Cooper Flagg peruse in the Miami Heat facility. And mind you, I haven't done any college basketball scouting. I might start tonight. I didn't do any scouting on last year until the season was over. I'm not a huge college basketball fan, to be honest with you. I like when the Canes are good. They are not this year. And when they're not, I hop off the bandwagon a little bit. And I'm not really like in tune like that. Now, we do have a party coming up from the station with the college basketball tournament coming up. So I'll give you some deets on that. You guys can listen to the radio show. Subscribe 560 WQAM because it's a fun event. It's going to be a party. But I'm going to tune in tonight. I'm going to watch a little Panthers. All right. Cats and Preds tonight. Who is the true Predator Cat? We know who it is. And on top of that, I am curious to check out Cooper Flagg a little bit tonight. See what he does. I would imagine you're going to have a pretty good game against this Hurricanes team because, again, they're god-awful. Oof, 6-23 this year. Jesus. 2-14 in the conference. Yikes. But one has to look at that, and I'm like, maybe this is the year where the Miami Heat actually get a little luck there. Because if they don't look, it's going to be tough for the Miami Heat. Whatever you think, it's going to be tough for the Miami Heat. There's going to need to be some kind of conspiracy. And I don't know, maybe the NBA looks at it and they're like, kind of like the Pelicans, right? Anthony Davis forced his way out. They were forced to take this trade from the LA Lakers, which ended up being okay. But they ended up with Zion that year. I don't remember what their odds were to get Zion that year, but I believe that was a little bit weird too. I don't believe that was one where they had this prevalent ability to get like the number one pick like crazy. Let me take a little looky-loo at that. What was Zion? Zion was the 2019 draft. It was Tyler's draft, wasn't it? All right, scrolling, boom. Barclays Center. Let's see. The Pelicans had 6% odds. So they didn't even have the top odds that year. And obviously the Miami Heat have a lottery-protected pick with the OKC Thunder. They got protections have to be lifted. If the Warriors continue their pace, they make the playoffs, then the Miami Heat get their pick. So there's a chance the Miami Heat get 2 picks. 2 picks in the lottery. This could be their frozen envelope moment. Where maybe Lady Luck, I'm talking myself into delusion because I have nothing left. And a Heat team that's going to need to win, 2 games in the play-in as they sit right now to get themselves into the playoffs. I sit here and I look at it and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is the year a little Lady Luck shines on the Miami Heat ping pong as they get a little payback for 2008. And the Arisons would love having a Duke franchise player. I mean, there's been kind of like a Duke Kentucky thing between Riles and the Arisons, since Justice Winslow. Now one has to want to be like, all of a sudden, the ping pong balls bounced their way. Saw that yesterday in the facility, and I have not fully cannonballed into the tank pool. But give me a couple more losses this week, and I don't know how I'm going to feel. When you see me wearing an Army helmet, you'll know that Tobin has fully embraced the tank. And to be fair, I've had some Heat fans. I'll give a shout out to my guy TC who hosts mornings on Kiss Country. This dude's been telling me since game 8. He's like, hop in the tank with me, dude. Let's go capture the flag. So I'll give credit to him. He's been circling this. He saw it coming a mile away this Heat season. A lot of you did. I like to bury my head in the sand. Some say I like to run in the tunnel into the mountain like Wild Heat Coyote. But now maybe it's time for Wild Heat Coyote to take aim instead of wins at ping pong balls. Not saying I'm there yet, but a restless night had me thinking about it. Also, those pictures of Cooper Flagg at the facility. They're pretty goosies.